Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another free webinar brought to you by Link. In today's session, we are going to talk about allocating pallets from Excel into produce orders. So some of you might know that functionality is already on our legacy method, but in today's session, we are going to focus on the newer versions called produce orders. Okay, so let me start off by sharing my screen. Now, there is two different methods that we can go about to allocating pallets from Excel. Our first method is by creating a produce order first beforehand. So some of you might plan ahead for the week and say these 10 orders are going to these 10 clients, basically get your whole structure beforehand. The second method is to allocate without having a produce order first and just filling in certain data, and the system will create a produce order for you. To use this functionality, you'll need a newer version of the stock sheet where we do certain lookups and to apply certain values into columns. But let us start first by going to produce orders. And here you can see I've created a produce order beforehand, just so for demonstration purposes. Okay, so if I go into an order, so typically you would go and create a new order now, go into the order and give it all of the customer information that you selected. And where the bigger difference comes in now, we need to give it a sales allocation group. So a lot of our customers that already use this functionality, what they do is they copy the order number directly into the sales allocation group. But this is up for you as a company to decide what's going to work best for you. In this demonstration, I just made my sales allocation group allocation demo, and we'll be able to see that now directly from Excel. So if we head over to our Excel sheet, you'll see there is a open orders list that we also bring in now, which is just a list of the produce orders, but filtered for only of those of status of open. Okay. So on my stock sheet now, I can filter for any variety, any target market, whatever your requirements are to filter out for pallets. We can also put it in the query directly as a sort of a batching that's from the legacy method to give it per group. Okay, so in this scenario, let's just put in a few filters. I'm gonna just sort there. Okay, and then let's say we want to have apples. Was my target market? There's my commodity group. So I want palm fruit and I want apples. Okay, so now there's a few extra filters that I can put in. So normally what we do is we filter out in the back end of the query to limit your view of what pallets you can see. Like some of these pallets here are already on a freight trip leg, so we can't allocate them. So let's just filter here for blank values. And there's our open stock. Okay. So in this method, we already have our order now. So all that I need to do is on a sales allocation group, there's a drop down. So if I drop down and go all the way to, where's the allocation demo? Why is it not in here? There we go. Apologies for that. So back on my stock sheet, on my sales allocation group, there's our allocation demo. And if I select allocation demo, it also does a lookup to my allocated delivery point that I've selected on the order beforehand. So I can just drag and drop. And should there have been a currency on my order, it will populate the currency as well. But in this case, there's no currency. Okay, so all that it's left for me now to do, I must give it a sales price and a purchase price. Then I can apply it directly to our order. So let's make our intended sales price 15. My intended purchase currency, I'm also going to leave it blank for ZAR. And let's make our purchase price 10. Drag and drop. Okay, now all that I need to do with these palettes now, I need to copy it over to a separate sheet to import it into our produce order page. We can't directly do it from the live sheet. So I select all of these, copy, and I head over on the stock sheet. There's an allocate tab, and I paste it over here. There we go. Okay, so now just make sure it is saved. And when I head over to Business Central, on our produce order page, there's under process, there's an import Excel allocation button. Now, when I press the button, it will make a window like this where I can go and select my file. And in the file, I need to select a specific tab. So in this case, it's going to be the allocate tab. I'll select OK. And it says existing produce orders allocated, produce order number PS 190. So that's the one I created. So if I go back into the order now, and I scroll all the way to the bottom, there's our apples that we selected along with their prices, both sales price and purchase price. Now, the second method is where I'm not going to have an order now. I'm going to select my values on the Excel sheet. So if I head over to the Excel sheet, I have a second tab over here called Pallet Stock 2, and I can apply some filters in here again. Let's select pome fruit and pears and blank. So now all of these ones I can use to allocate. I'm just going to put a rather sorted. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to create my own sales allocation group on Excel. So let's call it demo 2. I could allocate the delivery point. This is again a lookup, but now it's looking up to a different sheet in Excel. So let's choose Adam. Give it the intended sales currency code, which I'm going to leave blank. And let's give it an intended sales price of 20. Purchase price blank. Intended purchase price, let's make this 15. Okay, and now I can copy these pallets, copy it over, head over to my Excel, the allocate tab, remove these and paste my second allocation in here. There we go. Just make sure I need to save it. And now there's no need for me to create an order. I just say import Excel allocation. Select my file again. And again, select my tab. I'll just select OK. And there you can see we have a new order number 191 that the system generated for us. So if I select OK and I go in there we can see our sales allocation group of demo 2, and there's our lines of pairs along with the prices that I've filled in. Okay, so that's the two methods of using the Excel allocation on produce orders. Keep in mind that we can't import freight information. This is purely per commodity, where you can insert your prices, so no freight information. Okay, is there any questions from you guys? Let's have a look here in the Q&A.
Yes, Carl, there's one question from Jessica.
Yes, so can more than one produce order be allocated and created with import? Yes, you can do multiples. So on the sheet, you would just have to separate it with the first method, separate it on your sales allocation group. We have multiple orders beforehand, multiple sales allocation groups, and select them. And on the second method, you just need to ensure your sales allocation group that you give it must differ. So if you have 2 orders, 2 sales allocation groups. I hope that answers your question. Cool stuff. And from any people that don't currently use produce orders and still our legacy method, I hope this might change your mind, because I know a lot of you guys, the whole reason why using the legacy method is because of Excel, and now produce orders can also manage it from Excel. Okay, cool. Any other questions? Okay, cool. I don't see anything in the chat. I'll hang around a bit. Should any of you have any questions? But thank you. So that concludes our session on produce orders, allocation via Excel. Feel free if you want to have a bit of more detail or if you'd like to implement this, log a ticket on our help desk and I'll be more than willing to assist. Also, if you have any suggestions for future webinars, please feel free to send me a mail directly or even via our help desk, and we can have a future webinar on your suggestion as well.
Carl, so Amarai has a question. Dual loads, do they also work the same by selecting pallets and copying on stock sheet?
Okay, let me dual loads. If there's multiple allocated delivery points, what exactly?
Carl, and then just a good question from Jacqueline as well. Where would one get the template to use?
Okay, so the templates we're going to have to change because all of you currently have stock sheets, but those stock sheets won't work necessarily on produce orders as well. So we need to give you one of our templates, should you be interested. Amuray, do you mind just popping in the chat exactly what you want to do with the dual loads? Then I can maybe give you a solution. Please, thank you.
Carl Amaray replied saying one order, two loading points.
Okay. Yes, Amuray. So the Excel allocation is not dependent on the amount of loading points you want to have.
Thank you, Carl. If there's any other questions, please feel free to send an email to Carl or to the help desk. This session that Carl done for us this morning will also be available on a YouTube link. We'll send that shortly after the session this morning. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you for making time in your busy schedule. We're looking forward to the next session.
Well, thank you, everyone. Keep well. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.